Hello, I am Ben Broyles, and today I will be talking about road congestion. So, what is congestion? Congestion is an externality that arises from too many people being on the same stretch of road at one specific point in time. So, why is road congestion a problem? Well, there are many problems. One thing that it will cost you is time. As we learned in class, the average commuter in 2003 wasted about 47 hours just in traffic congestion. And of course, that number has come up throughout the years. All of this extra time spent in your car is also bad for the environment. Having cars being on longer and idling longer means you're releasing more emissions and more CO2 into the atmosphere. So, what are some ways that we can combat this issue? One way to combat this is to use a congestion tax. We make it more expensive for people to travel on the same routes that they've been traveling on. This will lead to tax revenues and reduced wait times and reduced emissions for the other travelers. Another way we can try to combat this is to implement a gas tax. This would be in the hope that people would carpool or use public transport in order to reduce some of the congestion from people using their own cars. A third option that you may or may not want to do, depending on where you are, is to expand your existing infrastructure and roads. Now, this works perfectly on something like I-65, where it's just fields and you got plenty of real estate, not a lot of businesses or anything, so it's cheap real estate. You can just expand the road. Everybody's happier. But even a road like State Street, you couldn't expand that without having to demolish all kinds of things. So depending on where you are, it can be good or a bad option. So what are we doing here in America to combat it? Well, we have toll roads in 35 states in our country, and we also have a federal gas tax of 18.4 cents per gallon. We also have companies like Uber and Lyft that transport millions of people every day. It's not as efficient as a bus or a train would be, but it is still better than everybody else having their own individual cars out on the road. Outside of the US, different countries have different ways of dealing with this. In Singapore, they created the area licensing system in 1975, where driving in certain areas at certain times of day will cost you a certain amount. And electronic road pricing was adopted in 1998, where the fee will depend on current traffic conditions, your vehicle type, what time it is, and the location that you are driving. Other countries, like Germany, implemented their public transport system to only cost €9 per month. So it's so cheap that you're incentivized to use it and not have your own form of transport. Road congestion is an issue that many of us face every day without even thinking about it. It's important that we keep trying to come up with ways to solve this issue and make driving more efficient.